You guys put a beating on this team last year. You scored 56 points. You're a player. Say that happened to you last year. It's only week 2. Is that still in the back of your mind when you see that team again, do you think?
I mean, obviously you remember the last game that you played them. You got smacked by them, so I think they're going to come in ready to play, man, regardless of what happened last year or not. This is week 2 in the NFL. They just came off of a victory, a really good win last week, and they're feeling really good. And this is a good football team that we're coming in against. And so we gotta, we prepared well today, had a good practice, and we just got to continue that momentum going into throughout the week.
You played 9 months ago. From the preparation you guys have done the last couple of days, what have you seen different about him going into this game based off what you see?
Yeah, I think he's got a lot more control of the offense. I think his decision making is a lot more quicker. I think he understands his scheme a little bit better, and he's making some really good throws. And so, so it's a good offense. Like I said, we're gonna have to be prepared for it.
What do you think of Waddle?
Yeah, a very explosive slot receiver. Some guy who can, with the ball in his hands, who's very explosive, make guys miss. And so, we're gonna have 11 guys running to the football.
After all that, we've talked about how much hype this team had. How do you guys get your mojo back?
I mean, you just continue to work, man. This is the NFL. After week 1, we obviously fell short, and you like to think that we came in ready today, ready to go. We had the 24-hour rule, put that game behind us, and understand what we got to do to get better in the areas that we need to get better at, and just continue to move forward.
Jordan, Sean talked about how there's a Tuesday meeting every week that the coaches do, and one of the things they discuss is the weather for the weekend, and especially in a situation like this where it's going to be extreme. How aware are you guys of that going through the week, about what Sunday's going to be like and getting prepared to deal with that?
Yeah, the training staff and the strength and conditioning coaches do a really good job as preparing us throughout the week. And as far as staying hydrated, giving us the essential game plan to be ready for the game. Some things that we need. They gotta. There's a body mass index in the all over the facility that kind of tells you, if you weigh this much, this is how many bottles of water you should be drinking a day. So, they're doing a really good job to continue to keep us prepared. It's going to be hot. I love playing in South Florida, so, I'm excited for it.
Does it help that you train down there?
I believe so.
You know what to expect.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, I like playing in the heat. I love playing in the cold too. Obviously, I gotta say that being a Buffalo, but the heat. I like playing in the heat, man. Just get a couple IVs for the game. It's your muscles are loose, ready to go.
How much do you drink a day?
Water? A lot. I would like to think about 1.5 gallons.
Hey, Jordan, one of the things you said after the last game was that you think one of the reasons you guys lost was because you couldn't force a turnover and they had one. So with that mindset, if you think about forcing turnovers, do you find that potentially helps, or is it one of those things that if you think about it, then
no, 100%.
You psych yourself out a little bit?
No, 100%. And you got to talk about it. You got to think about it. You got to speak it into existence. And we always talk about second guy in, coming after the football. We got to find ways to get the football off of the offense, to put our offense in good field position to win games, man. And that's where we fell short last week. And so we've been harping on it all early on this week, and we're going to try to turn that around this weekend.
Is there maybe any added emphasis because the Dolphins are so good at it and they've got this crazy streak of how many games in a row they forced one at least?
Yeah, every week you gotta come into the mindset your defense has to play better than their defense, and understanding what their defense does. They got a really good defense, and so we got to play at a high level and execute at a high level on our side of the football and force 3 and out takeaways.
Does it feel like a homecoming for you every time you play in Miami?
Nah, I don't want to say a homecoming, but it's definitely it's fun to go down there and play. I enjoy it.
Their receivers, if you talked about Waddle, Parker, pretty good play. They seem that they've really Gesicki.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got a pretty diverse group. What kind of challenge does that present for a secondary?
Yeah, a lot of athleticism, a lot of playmaking abilities on that side of the football at their wide receiver, and Gesicki too. A guy who's been in this league a while, who can make contested catches down the field. Same with Parker. And so it's going to take all 11 of us. It's going to take our looks on the back end, being able to get everybody to the football and rally into the football and making tackles.
Being a South Florida guy, is Isaiah taking you to his barbecue restaurant?
Nah, it's too far from where I'm at. He's like an hour and a half south. He keeps telling me to go over there, but it's like an hour and a half south of me. So I'm going to make it out next offseason, though. I heard really good things about it.
Jordan, when you look at all the quarterbacks around this division, just how much change there's been, I mean, you guys took this one, you seem to just take the East one game. What's it like to prepare for that? There's been change at all these teams all
it's just you're preparing for another team. It doesn't matter who's at quarterback. Obviously, certain quarterbacks have certain tendencies, but each week you like to hone down and that obviously that quarterback's tendencies. Is what he does with his eyes, what he does with his feet, his cadence. So I think I don't necessarily want to say it's a different approach week to week. You still kind of have your check boxes of you're studying this quarterback. Okay, he looks you off on this down and distance. He's not looking you off on this down and distance. So I think just continue to mark that to have that checklist throughout the week of how you're studying quarterbacks.
How quickly for you do you pick up on those tendencies?
I think the more you watch film, the more you kind of see certain tendencies. Maybe to even yourself. Maybe just you see something yourself that you can tip off somebody else. A guy light in the stance, or somebody comes into the game and all he does is block. And so certain tendencies you pick up throughout the week that you can definitely use through in the game.
Do you share those tendencies across teams, even with some of the other safeties around the league?
I call other safeties around the league and kind of and I mean this happened. It happened to me too. Other guys calling me if they play in a team that week and. Hey, can you give me some tips of what you guys saw, this, that, and the other? And so, yeah, I mean, I would say that, there's a couple of safeties that I know I call for sure to get some tendencies.
Is it easier to pick those things up? Is it easier to pick those things up from a younger guy like Tua, or from an older guy like Ben, just because he's been around so long and you've seen more of him?
I think it varies. I think the more you obviously play a player, it might be. You might remember a tendency he did a couple years ago, and that tendency continues to hold up. I think I only played two of the first. I think the starters were in the first quarter maybe, and so he's a really good quarterback. He does a lot of really good things, and so just continue to study him. He gets the ball out of his hands super quick, so we're gonna have our hands full.
Jordan, any insights onto why Josh, throughout his career, has just lit up Miami? Every time he plays, he lights them up.
I don't know. I hope he keeps it rolling this week too.
Is it kind of weird to think when Josh we just asked him about this. He's the oldest quarterback in the division now. When you came in, Brady kind of rolled over it, and now he's the guy.
Right. It is. I mean, I've always said this. Just to see his growth in the last 4 years, and to see where. When he came into the league, to see where he's at now, and I'm just excited for his continuous growth and to continue to see him lead this football team. That's our quarterback, and I'll ride with him till the day I'm done playing this game.
It's your 5th year with Sean. You've been in these moments before where you guys have had a tough loss and you've had to kind of come together. How have you seen him evolve as I don't want to say a leader, but as a coach, just being through those battles before and. What have you seen, how he's evolved in that?
Yeah, I mean, he's really taught the program and the guys, how to handle success, one, and obviously how to handle defeat. And, he always mentions, you never lose, you just learn. And so it's almost like shame on us if we don't learn from our loss last week and correct our mistakes. And so, Sean's always level-headed, weathering the storm. That's not just throughout the week, that's in the game too. So he keeps us prepared, and so we're lucky to have him as a coach.
Jordan, yesterday I know it was an off day for you, but they came out and announced the vaccination mandate for the fans here for Bills and Sabres games. A couple of your teammates took to Twitter today and offered to buy fans tickets to road games who otherwise wouldn't be able to attend here. Any reaction to that at all?
Nah,